some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh.
She's a trooper. Look at her.
She's the most
Don't wet your-
adventurous
don't wet your
child that
shirt.
you're
Don't wet your shirt.
ever going to meet. She fears nothing.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. You want to get in it?
Happy Saturday, everyone. Well, actually, when you will be seeing this, it will be Saturday. This is our first pre-recorded episode of Reptiles and Cocktails. And I am super excited to be bringing on a new guest and definitely introducing her to this audience. And make sure you guys go and give Jenny from WildInk Serpents a follow and check her out and welcome her to our community of the channel. So just wanted to remind everyone, if actually this would be the day we're at Jeremy's. So as you guys are watching this video, and I'm probably watching the chat in the video, we are at Jeremy's house right now. So this is really fun. Like, I'm in the future. We're actually recording this on Monday, but when you see this, like I said, it will be Saturday. So it's weird not to see the chat going and everything. So hi, everybody, as if you guys were in the chat. But I'm also enjoying to be able to just have this one-on-one time interview with Jenny and future guests on Reptiles and Cocktails. And reminder, we will still always be live on Mondays at 8 a.m. 2 Peas in a Podcast with me and Dre the Snake God. So this change is just freeing me up on Saturdays to be committed to some other reptile activities that's also important to the community. And I'm excited to do that, and excited that we have the ability to do a recording in the absence of anything else. So we're going to bring our guest on right now. Add her to the stream. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Welcome to Reptiles and Cocktails. Like I said, I was explaining to Jenny as well that this is the first pre-recording. So far, so good. It's just like doing a live. I think the biggest thing I'm going to have to remember is make sure I hit save at the end.
Otherwise, you have to re-record it.
Exactly. So I have a big note right here to hit save at the end. Like I said, I know you have your baby out there, so if you have to look, go, run, all of that, I get that. And we won't be too long, but I do want to get to know you a little better and get the viewers to get to know you a little better. So just tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I'm Jenny. I'm a co-owner with my husband of WildInk Serpents. I'm actually, my day job is a mechanic, and at home I'm a wife, a mom, and a snake keeper.
Which is pretty cool. So I met Jenny actually doing the TikTok live, and I keep telling y'all, get on TikTok. There's some awesome people there. Are you on Instagram? I know I have your Facebook. Are you on
No,
Instagram?
I only have a Facebook right now, and I haven't switched my TikTok over to my WildInk yet. I'm still working on that.
Okay, no problem. So just heads up, what do you keep now and what do you plan to breed or what are you currently breeding?
I keep 2 BCI red-tailed boas, and I have 2 of those. I have 27 different morphs of ball python. I have a 7-egg clutch in the incubator right now. Working on a couple different projects involving pieds and clowns, and I like the xanthics.
Okay, that's pretty cool. What is the pairing for the clutch you have in the incubator?
The pairing is the mom is a Enchi spider and the dad is an Enchi blade clown.
Okay, cool. When did you decide or how did you get into breeding from like pet keeping into breeding?
I had my first snake at 12, and that was a red-tailed boa. Over the years, I've slowly, rescued and accumulated, and then probably about 7 years ago, I really got into the morphs and wanting to breed. Had my first clutch. I sold those super cheap just because I wanted people in the hobby to have, a snake that they really, really wanted.
Right.
And then I stopped for a little bit because I didn't know if that's exactly what I wanted to do. And then my husband was like, let's do it. And so we started doing it again.
And that's awesome. And so you have your husband and he actively helps with the breeding and the pairing and operating the whole business.
Yes.
That's awesome. So my husband, he helps a whole lot. And it's great to have him way more involved now, like where he actually appreciates everything that we're doing and he's hands-on with the animals. But he wasn't always that way. Always supported me. But like for him, snakes were like some things that should be over there. He could live with them, but he never would touch them. And so now he actually would touch them. What state are you in?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Okay, so you're not, so Holly from Texoma, I think is, are you familiar with Holly from Texoma Exotics?
Sounds familiar. If they're on Morph Market, I've pretty much looked up like everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I think Holly is in Oklahoma because I don't know many people in Oklahoma. I think she was originally in Texas and now in Oklahoma. So that's pretty cool. She's a pretty, she's an up and coming breeder as well, but pretty dope in the community. And she's another woman, in the community. So we definitely, like to support each other in this way, like you on the podcast. I think it's amazing that when you think you've met everybody, you can go into a whole nother forum and meet a whole other group of reptile keepers. And that's just super awesome.
And some of us, we don't like to make our name very big because, keep a smaller operation, gives you more quality over quantity and happier snakes. And once you get a little too much, sometimes it gets out of hand.
Yeah, so I'm like that. I don't think I ever want to be, don't get me wrong, I would definitely like more space in my house, like in the house I live in. But I don't necessarily.
Sacrifices were made.
Right. I don't think I would ever want like a facility full of snakes where I can't be hands-on or I can't sleep where they are. It's so many things that is comforting that could go wrong. That I'm up right upstairs, I can run right downstairs, or something I just need to check on because I forgot, I can just run downstairs. So how do you go about deciding what you're going to pair? Is it you pair just for what you want to sell, or like you said before, your first cut you just sold very cheap because you wanted people in the hobby?
We pair for what we kind of want to keep. We're not really in it for the money, and we're not really in it for mass production. We want to make the world's first. We want to make this has never been seen before, and I own it. This is my baby.
Got you. So it's so funny how everybody has a different, vision when they come in and what they want to do. I have animals I keep, and then I have animals I breed. The animals that I keep, even if it's hard to let go of their babies because it's a product of them. And people don't understand it. So everybody keeps saying, why don't you just post all the retakes on Walmart Market? I can. I'm doing it as I can, as I can let go. I'm a grandmother over here. They are my babies, So I'm taking my time to go through that process. So what I have so the next thing I had was, how did you I think you mentioned that without reptiles in your life that they really help save your life, make your life better. Can you speak on that a little bit?
When I was at the lowest of lows and I thought I couldn't do it anymore, my first red-tailed boa is the one who actually saved me, because I realized if I left, there'd be nobody to care for her. Nobody would love her.
Listen, so one of my episodes is about reptiles and mental awareness. And one of the things I'm trying to get to do, because I'm right outside of DC, is get into the National Institute of Health and get them to really do a study on how reptiles actually help people with mental disabilities, physical disabilities, social disabilities. I always tell people, mine's what they do for me is that if I'm angry or if I get upset, they instantly calm me.
I have social anxiety, and I wouldn't be able to do this if I wasn't holding one.
So there are so many people in the reptile community that's like that. There are so many people on earth who is missing out on an opportunity. They fear something that could help them. And I want to change that so bad. I want it to become part of modern medicine, where instead of subscribing to a child who, because my son is, he has special needs. So he was federally coded 01, and he is amazing with snakes. Absolutely amazing with snakes. Michael is like a snake whisperer for real.
My son wants to give him kiss.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Oh my goodness,
Hey.
look at that hair.
Okay, I got.
I'm glad you said son, because he is gorgeous.
Yes.
Hi. What do
You say
you
hi.
have? What is that?
You like the snakes? Piece of crap.
I like the shakes.
That's good. They are so amazing, aren't they?
And that's it.
It's a piece of grass, baby. But I honestly believe fear is taught.
It is. So if you see my grandchildren, no fear at all. And people be like, oh my God, those babies handling retics. They know exactly how to handle those snakes. They are not concerned at all. The only reason I don't let them handle the real big ones is just like I don't let them wrestle the Rottweiler. Anything can happen. But the younger snakes and the bigger snakes that they raised up with, they can handle them all that they want. Not an issue at all. So you have your husband's support with the animals. Do you raise your son to actually be a caretaker for him? Like, do you let him see exactly what you do?
No, take this chalk over there, baby. Over there. He takes care of the bearded dragon. It's in my room, but I've taught him how to do crickets and do the veggies and all that, and he helps feed his beardy. But it's my primary.
Okay, cool. And so you was young when you first got into your first reptiles. And you got out it for a little moment.
Mm-mm.
What do your future look like for you in the hobby? Like, what do you want? I know you don't want to become a huge breeder or anything like that. What do you want to do is it education, or is it more breeding and education?
So, can you go play, Bubba? I actually I work with a local rescue, and she does a lot of educational. She takes in the rescues, any of them that are prospects for educational, kind of like a zoo to you kind of thing, or to their school. And I'll go and help her with those. I don't like to get a lot of mine out, because some of mine deal with handsy, and some of them just get you can tell they get overwhelmed, and I don't want to push my snakes like that.
Right.
They weren't raised to be that way, but I do help with those. And when I go out into public places, we do educate people. When I go to the pet store or stuff like that, people who've never held a snake before, it's a great feeling. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, for some, especially to see people overcome that fear. And in fact, for me, it's like, I don't understand what people fear. But I just say, let me take that back and let me think of the things I do fear. Like the one snake that I find so beautiful, but I fear keeping, is a king cobra. I'm not a person who can, you have to focus on those movements. My focus is not that good. One of the reasons I have snakes too is also because I have ADHD. So I cannot sit there and just focus.
You should see me clean cages.
I mean, I'm telling you, we all, regardless, people don't realize it's a reason why we're drawn to these animals. Some of us sacrifice financially more than we do for ourselves for these animals. And it's because that we know that they serve us a real and true purpose here.
More than people know.
Was there anybody in the hobby who inspired you, or did you just kind of self-teach yourself everything?
The big name breeder Mike Wilbanks and Brian Bierzak.
Okay.
Those are my two. Like, I look up to those two people like everything.
Yeah, we pray for Brian every Monday on the other podcast. Every Monday morning, awesome. We pray for him. I think I started keeping animals over 33 years ago, and so for a long time, that's all, from like the reptile magazines and stuff like that. You only knew those things. Mike Wilbanks, Kevin McCurley, Brian Barchak. Even back then, Jay Brewer. I'm not such a fan now, but back then he was a big name and well respected back then. And, of course, the Ralph Davis, there's so many people, but I kept ball pythons for years, and I never wanted to breed until like 4 years ago. I love my animals. Like, even now, when animals come out the egg, it's hard for me to just let them sit there. I have to talk to them and like, hey, little baby.
We're friends now, okay?
I'm just saying.
You're coming with me. We're gonna go watch TV now.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. And then, like, even with with feeding of the animals, like, that's why I hate feeding live. But some of the babies you have to, and it's because I also love the rats. So now, like, I'm so sorry, trying to figure out which one is going to be any, bitty, mighty, mo, like that type of thing. I love all animals, even the ones that I'm afraid of. Like, I love a Komodo dragon. I just know that I can't have, I'm not a person who, I don't know many people who should have a Komodo, but there are people who can keep, raise up a Komodo and they'll be fine. I'm not knocking that. So if you could change one thing about the reptile community, what would that be?
One thing about the reptile community. Are we talking about like the new age keepers? Or are we talking about the old age keepers?
You can break them up because look, I got one for each.
Well, I'd say about the new age keepers, the whole stigma on like snake racks.
Okay.
Because they think snake racks are absolutely atrocious, and the snakes are not healthy and they are not stimulated and all sorts of stuff. Old age, I know there's old-fashioned methods to like mite treatment and all sorts of different type of old age treatments, but there are new age that work so much better and is a lot safer for the snake.
I agree. I totally agree. And then I also think, so I would consider myself old age. I'm an old age reptile keeper, right? One of the things, and I'm gonna break it down, and it's so funny because if this was live, the chat would be telling you right now what I can't stand. What I can't stand about the new age keepers is their way of communicating. Like, everything is a fire, everything is rah, 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 and they hold everybody else accountable except for themselves.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy. The old age keepers, I would say that even though I consider myself old age, I have evolved in a lot of my way of thinking. I'll give you an example. I was opposite. I was a person who felt like that's why I didn't want to breed. I never wanted to keep my ball pythons in a rack. They had to have a whole lot of stimulation because they were pets. My pet ball pythons still may not ever go in a rack, but there were pets that I had that I started to breed. And let me tell you, they bred better in a rack system. These are just facts. This is just what I experienced. So they did better getting into a rack system. So I can tell you that how people assume that the bigger enclosures are great for ball pythons, mines would not breed in their big enclosure, their regular, enclosure that they were
Yeah.
past. When I put them in racks, instantly.
I have no problem with racks just because of I get mine out so much that.
Well, I'm telling you
I don't have a
that,
problem with it.
again, I don't see a problem with racks at all. It was just in my thought because growing up, they were pets. So I wanted to see them. I wanted to, play with them all the time, walk past them. I wanted them to be, on an exhibit. But now I got all of these other, animals. These retics is enough exhibits that you need to see. It's totally different. And I can tell you that the ball pythons in the racks, and like you said, you can, because of my collection is not huge, but I will always keep it where I can literally put hands on an animal every single day.
Yeah, even if it's just opening it up
Right,
and just giving them a nice rub, like, hey, I love you.
Yeah, exactly. But I can tell you that you find yourself cleaning so much that you're constantly handling them anyway, at some given point. You're constantly handling them as well. So
we keep the baby rack in the living room, so that way whenever you're chilling watching TV, you can just socialize the baby.
And that's smart. Exactly. Now, in Oklahoma, are there any restrictions as to what you can keep as far as the larger constrictors?
Not that I know of yet.
Okay.
I know they were trying to push that and give a size restriction to it. But as of right now, there's not. The only thing that's illegal is, of course, venomous snakes.
Okay. And so that's how Maryland is. Maryland is venomous snakes only.
I've got a 7-foot red tail, and I went to Pride Parade with her. And the cops were even coming up saying hi. So nobody ever said anything about your snake is too large.
Good. Like, well, it's no such thing as long as you, just like a dog, if you can manage it and you can handle it and you keeping everybody else safe, there's no issues. I can take these animals out anywhere. And I tell anybody, of course, they're snakes, just like any other animal. They can use their mouth to protect themselves if they feel like they need to be protected. But my animals are so used to people, they have no reason to feel like they need to be protected. Did you produce the snake that's in your hand?
No, this is actually a Wilbanks.
Oh, okay. Because I was seeing, I'm like, okay. What is it? Is it a freeway, highway?
It's a gravel spark.
Oh,
it's part of the bypass. It's actually a bypass.
Yeah.
So it's part of the complex. Just it's not.
It is. Yeah. I
one everybody wants.
Yellow belly in creates one, and then asphalt creates another, gravel creates another, and then I just learned that there was a parkway, and then another. I was like, okay, all right. So
she's a bypass.
Okay, I have the book from Kevin, and
I got her because I'm gonna breed her with a fire for her spark and make a grenade.
Okay, so yeah, all of those are in that book, and it's just the book is just so thick that I'll be reading it forever. But I was just laughing, was telling somebody, I'm like, first it was the highway, it was the freeways, and it was the pavement, and that's it. Then y'all add something else, like.
Oh God, they're always adding something. Always, ain't that right?
I'm never gonna get it. So is that's a male or female?
It's a female.
Female. And how much do you think she weighed? How many grams?
Last time I weighed her was about 800 grams.
Okay. She's kind of wrapped, so she looks nice. So what's your favorite, ball pythons or the boas, because you had the boas first?
I'm still gonna have my heart in the boas. Honestly, my heart will always be there. But I have just, over the years, ball pythons are stealing it.
Okay. Now, have you ever bred your boas, or?
No, I actually, this year is actually gonna be my first year I'm gonna try to breed.
Okay. Yeah, this is the first year we paired, and then we actually think she's rabbit, and it's so weird because she is very active. So to see her sitting there like kind of unactive is just really, really strange. And it's like, I'm like, just move around a little bit, but she'll move her head around and everything. I say, yeah, she's something that's definitely happening in there. And We haven't ever. I sonogram the ball pythons all the time. We never sonogram the boas because it's just she don't stay still. So I said maybe I'll sono her now since she's kind of like in this, lethargic state. And
the nice part about ball pythons is they kind of give you that whole hint with the way they ovulate, and they're just a lot more. You can see that they're pregnant.
Right, exactly. Now they say with boas, like her size, but I'm like, she greedy, like she just ate two not too long ago. So I don't know, but it's a good experience. I think I've mastered the ball python process at this particular point. Just even with the sonogram, I think what the sonogram did was confirm the things that you can see visually with your eyes. So. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, oh, okay, she's bull wrapping. Oh, she's building. You know what I mean? What you cannot deny with the ball pythons, and you can't deny it with the retics either, is when they grab it. That like they become like very different. Very different. It was so.
Like, when did you get this big?
Right. I mean, with the retic, it was like overnight. I was like, oh wow, like that was like she was huge. Her scales had stretched so much. I was like, yeah, you're definitely. I don't think we can confirm that from just looking at you. If you spend more time on social media, do you spend time? No, you don't spend a lot of time on social media because you don't do IG, right?
Work, home, animals.
Speaking of work, the sister is a mechanic. I'm jealous. So, how did that come about? Did you always work on cars when you were younger?
My mom was going to school to be a Mercedes mechanic when she got pregnant with me, and my stepdad owns an auto shop local, and I fell into cars. I fell in love with them, and having social anxiety, the cars don't give me that. Got you.
It's funny. One of my vehicles is a Mercedes, and I wish I was a Mercedes mechanic. It would definitely have benefited me.
Hey, not my motorcycle. Thank you. My kid's trying to climb on my motorcycle.
Now, do you drive it like daily?
It's my project bike.
Okay.
It's a 1985 Honda Shadow.
Wow.
I'm getting it back and up and running.
Wow. And
my husband's a Harley guy.
Okay. So I like Harleys too. So if my thing is, I'm terrified to get on motorcycles, but if I get on one, I like how a lot of the Harleys are built with the bucket seat kind of thing in the back.
Oh yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, that makes me feel so much more comfortable. I had a bad experience when I was a younger girl, and I did something really bad, and I called myself taking somebody's motorcycle, and I accidentally did not like brake the proper way and ran right into a dumpster. I mean, I was fine, but it made me look at the motorcycle totally different.
That poor bike.
And so I have not tried to drive one. Now we went we do little mopeds and stuff like that on vacation, but I'm talking about like a motorcycle. Not at all whatsoever. So you got one clutch in the incubator. Do you think you'll have any more clutches this year, or when is like the season or the year that you think that your projects actually gear up?
If one of my females hits that weight, we may have another clutch at the end of the year. But if her size isn't comfortable for me, like I don't follow that whole 1100 or 1500 gram thing. If she's over that, I would prefer her to be over that, like 1800 grams.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what I've experienced. So I tested it because when I got it, there was a lot of talk about that. So I figured this is my first year, why not test it? I paired two girls what I did was I used a sonogram to see how soon that they actually start to build. I had one girl actually starting to build. Actually, she was bigger than my ones that was 1800 and my one that was 1200. Her follicles were past theirs. So we actually paired her first.
Can you get back away from the road? Thank you.
And
Sorry.
she went all the way to term. Are you okay? She went all the way to term, had beautiful eggs, beautiful babies. One of my favorite clutches this year came from her. So what I've learned this year is that it doesn't really matter the weight, because I got like some that was 900 grams that still gave me the same amount of eggs my 1,500 and my 1,700 gram did. What does matter is...
I think the only reason I don't go by the weight is because I don't like after they lay eggs watching them be so skinny and
see. But the thing is, they really, like, these girls, instead of getting skinny, they bulked up and they went right on food the next day. So typically, you know, I like to wait too, but I tested that. Like, I did the sonogram and I tested that, and I actually did it internally for the Usual Suspects, which is the group that I'm with. And we documented that. And definitely my biggest fear was her having not enough eggs or having slugs. And she didn't slug out, and she had really, really strong clutches. So I said next season, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to see how early some girls build, because it puzzled me that at 8, I think she was like 900 millimeters. At 900 grams, she was like literally at 22 millimeters.
Get off my bike. That's on a kickstand and I don't need it falling. Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay.
He asking for an ER visit.
Oh, no, right. That sounds a little scary. So, and then I have, let's see. My last question, and I normally ask everybody this at the end of Reptiles and Cocktails. At 5 years old, did you know that you loved reptiles?
No. No. I grew up in Germany. And so most of the snakes over there, we live so close to the ocean, most of them are venomous. So I was actually raised with don't touch it.
Got you. So that's where your TikTok name come from.
Disturbed German.
Okay. Okay. When did you
Favorite
come
band?
here?
I came here in 2000, actually.
You don't have an accent at all, German. That accent normally stick. That's amazing. I never would have picked that up.
No, I guess Oklahoma does that to you. The
You
y'all
really
takes
sound
over.
like, yeah, you're from Oklahoma. That's crazy. I'd have never picked. In 2000, it's not a long time.
Oof. I miss the family though.
What made you come here? Your husband, or you just?
No. My mom married a military man. My sister's dead.
Got you. Okay. And did you get to visit?
I haven't gone back to visit yet. It's too expensive.
Wow.
Hey. No. We're not throwing rocks. I have windows. Please and thank you.
How did you get from, or how did you find, like, because Germany is like sophisticated, right, in technology compared to the United States?
Yeah, but I grew up in a town that lives more, I don't know if you call it old-fashioned. We have the local butcher, the local baker. We like a lot of local stuff. You only had to travel to the city to go to school.
Okay, so when you came here, it wasn't a big adjustment, like, okay, what are these people doing?
It's a culture shock, I will say. A culture shock for sure.
Okay, what was your biggest adjustment? What shocked you the most?
I will say the U.S. doesn't get, like, in Germany, males and females get maternity pay. College is funded by the government. Like, if you want to go to a vocational aptitude school, they pay for it.
Wow.
Medical, like ER visits, you don't pay for that.
Wow.
The government helps a lot more with its people. I will just say that.
Okay, well, that sounds like a great government. How do you think that happens? Like, what do you think that in the country they do differently as a country that allows the country to afford it, I guess?
I will say that the tax rate is a little bit higher, but
you don't pay for nothing. I would pay taxes if I don't have to pay for anything.
if you're sending kids to college to actually get a decent job and all that, then yeah, I don't mind an up in taxes if you know where your money's going.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I never knew that. Now, we were on, I think we were in Antigua, and a lot of people from British Columbia was there, and they were talking about how a lot of their government pays for a lot of education, medical, and things like that. So you assume that United States is the wealthiest country, but we don't pay for anything and we always in debt. I have yet to figure it out. I have yet to figure out who gave us that status. I don't know. Because all these other countries, and even when we go to like countries that are self-sufficient, they don't have the struggles financially that we have, and they still provide medical care for their people, and they still provide education for their people.
Yep.
So it's like, what are we doing wrong here?
And it's like a culture shock too, because like if you blow a tire over there, you've got like 5 people stopping to help you. Are you okay? Do you need help? Over here, you blow a tire, people are just gonna keep going.
Wow.
The people are too scared of other people, like, you know, they're gonna murder me or whatever.
Because we don't because all kinds of crazy crap here. That's another thing. We have all of these prisons and still one of the highest crime rates. I just always wonder, I always ask, because I know from traveling a lot, it was one country that there were not even police around, and we questioned like, why is no police? And people was like, because people don't want to go to these jails. Like, it's the police don't have the police because the people know how bad the jails are. So they just don't do nothing. So they don't go to jail. Where were we? It might have been Antigua too. Where they
We were talking about, let's see here, I don't remember what we were talking about actually.
Yeah, we were just talking about the differences in the governments and the police.
Oh yeah.
And in the medical, you know, how things are done differently. Like the crime here is just so great, even though we you know, we have a whole bunch of judicial systems. I don't say.
Oh yeah.
Is that
and it's just crazy. It really is.
Different.
So I think that's why everybody tries to just live their life, do their thing, and not mind other people.
That's true, and you can't afford to do a whole lot, you know, like you used to, you know, for most common folk. So that's a big adjustment as well today. So I was going into the question number 2, which leads into the final question. So at 5 years old, you wasn't touching snakes because they were venomous in Germany.
Yep.
So that's what you would have told your 5-year-old self, don't touch snakes. Because my question is, what would you have told your 5-year-old self about snakes? But growing up in a different environment, it definitely, I guess, changes their perspective.
There are more than just bad snakes out there.
Okay.
Because if I would have known growing up that these guys existed, it would have been totally different.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. And if you could actually have a venomous snake, what would it be?
Ooh.
Never thought of that.
Well, that's a hard question. I'd probably say, I mean, it's surprisingly, it's something local to here, is the cottonmouth.
Okay.
I think they're absolutely gorgeous with their sandy color. Like, I just think they're pretty.
Mine is a gaboon viper. Like, I think they are so pretty. If they wasn't like, you know, just so venomous, I definitely would have one. I'd love to go to the zoo here and see the rhino gaboons here. They have some of the most beautiful ones in the country at the Washington, D.C. Zoo. But that would be mine. And I always, you know, wondered, like, because there are people, like, I have friends who keep them. Shout out to them. And there are some people, you know, who can just touch it.
I have a snake. Quit.
And all of that.
Trying to beat me with a stick.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, I don't want to get hit. I don't care about getting hit, but just don't hit the baby.
That is too funny. Well, I really enjoyed this. Now, you also said that you are a great admin on TikTok, right?
I'm a what?
You actually do like the admin on TikTok?
The admin.
Oh, okay. I thought you mentioned in a message that you actually can like do the admin on TikTok. I could be confusing them with somebody else.
No.
My bad. Do you ever go live on TikTok?
I do go live on TikTok.
Okay, so I don't get those notifications, so I have to make sure. I know that we're friends, but
I do go live sometimes. The last live I did was like the snakes playing in the front yard.
Okay.
And then probably one of the big lives that I will be having is somewhere in mid-June, so about 22nd or 23rd. I will be doing a live stream of the eggs hatching.
Oh, awesome. And that is, that's cool. I actually have 2 clutches due on July 23rd. That's my anniversary.
Maybe we'll have a clutch together.
Yeah, that would be cool. We could do a live. Let's do a live cutting together. Hopefully they all, because I don't cut into at least 1 pip, and or if it's more than 60 days. Yeah. So if 1 pips, I'm comfortable. But if not, then. But normally mine's pip right there on day 58. Like I've never had any that didn't pip by day 58. Ever.
I've never really had an issue. I know day 60 hits, and if they're not pipping, I'm really nervous.
Okay, I'm cutting on day 60 for sure.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a game. We're going to sit there.
I don't care if they pipped or not. My biggest fear is something happening that I could have saved them from happening. And I was just a couple days too late. No.
Well, it's not even like, and everybody is like, oh, you just want the money. And I'm like, no.
No, it got nothing to do with that.
These are alive. They have a brain, and they just can't come out.
And then when I learned that all of their egg tubes are not strong enough, like, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, every vet always told me by day 60, if they haven't pipped, you cut those eggs. Like, you cut those eggs. So and that's what I'll do. It's never done me wrong. So I think you froze. Look, you froze in a perfect position, though. I wish you could see the screen. It's a perfect position. Let's see if I remove and add. Oh yeah, it's definitely on your end. So while we waiting for Jenny to log back in so we can finalize the show, I hope everybody is having an amazing Saturday. I hope that you guys enjoy the pre-recorded version. I know we're going to miss the live, but we still live Mondays at 8 a.m. And most of the time when this actually airs, I will definitely, if not all the time, be in the chat. So I hope you guys have an amazing time today. I guess Jenny must be having some technical issues, so I'll follow up with her, make sure she's good. But until the next time, I have to make sure I hit save. That's going to be funny if I do not hit save. But until the next time, see you guys soon. Today is Monday. So remember, we got Tuesday. You have Snakes and Bakes. Wednesday, 8 p.m. You have balls and things. That's going to be a really good one because my peeps, DNT Retics, is going to be on there. So go on there and make sure that you support Tay and Dax. And then on Thursday, you got 8 o'clock p.m. Mike for Perk Collectors. And finally, Friday, you have Ray's favorite podcast at 5 p.m., which is a good show. And you also have Hair Down at 8 p.m. on Friday. And then back at it, this will be airing Saturday at 1 p.m. So actually, I think we actually got, there you go. Look.
My phone overheated.
Look, I was like, look, I had to, I said, maybe it's on my end. So we were ramping up anyway, so no big deal.
It's 90 degrees in Oklahoma right now, and my phone
oh
overheated.
my goodness. Wow. Yes. You know what? See, yeah, you are where Holly is because she talked about that earlier on her Instagram. Absolutely. That is insane.
But on one subject I'd like to talk on real quick. You know how when you breed, if you breed the spider gene, you get a neuro?
Yep. Well, not all of them because I have a perfect spider.
I won't sell her because she has neuro.
Oh.
But she is from the last breeding. From the same parents. Woo! If I don't lose this.
Now, I was ready to say, did the parents have it?
Nope. Not at all. Not one bit. And she's the only baby who came out with it.
So you just like I said, it's hit or miss. I have one of my favorite snakes is one of my original ball pythons, which is a spider, no wobble at all. And then I got a Exantic bumblebee, had desert ghost. He doesn't have like a visible wobble, but I can definitely see that he definitely moves his head differently at sometimes. But you can't see it. I can see it, but everybody can't see it. But yeah, so I think it's a hit and miss. My thing is Spider makes some of the best combos. And I wish we could just figure it out.
Everybody kept telling me I needed to cull her.
Oh no.
I wasn't. No.
Spiders, even with a wobble, can be really, really, really awesome eaters. So if they're eating, never.
See?
Never. Oh.
She eats fine.
I was going to say, yeah, if they're eating. I don't believe in calling anything that eats.
No,
That's
I'm
just
not calling her.
Yeah, you
Never.
get one eye. You're going to be my one eye snake. He's fine.
Go watch Bad Guys.
Fine.
We had to move inside. It's going to push 100 degrees this week. We got to be careful.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I really appreciate you doing this. I'll be seeing you soon on TikTok, and we got to make sure we're communicating about July 23rd and see where. So if your clutch pit before mine or mine's pit before yours, I'll let you know. So
Yes.
we can see where each other's at.
Yes, because then we can do a live together if the baby's coming out.
Yes, that would be cool for the people. Because one thing I love about the people on TikTok, they appreciate the education. They really are intrigued by it. Even for people who quote unquote are scared, they're still intrigued by it. So I love it. Definitely. But I will let you go. You have an amazing day, Jenny.
I will, you too.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Here we go. Make sure I see y'all.